Okay, before we get another downpour, and as you can see, it's not an enlightening day. Let's have a bit of a cheer ourselves up with flying something. And this is a really basic quad. I'll run through the actual quad in a second. The actual box it comes in, obviously they cover 4 different models, and there's obviously quite a sort of high-end model here with the H3, which the instructions is all about actually. But I think the instructions are generic, so they do run through them all. They're actually quite reasonable with the layout, and also the translations and everything aren't bad, nice and clear and simple to use. So, and if you're new to flying, it would help you, I think, get started, but it covers a lot of stuff that is not actually on this quad. Obviously this H3 one has all sorts of amazing things, like it does orbit, dive bomb and everything, so I assume that's a full GPS one. And I've just got the H5, as you can see here. This is a real, you know, base model quad. I don't have any issues with those. I think they're damn good fun. Well, they usually are anyway. We'll see how we get on with this one. It really is a lightweight quad, and I'll put the weight down the bottom there for you. It comes with sort of everything. The battery is a 350 milliamp hour, a single cell, and it's got the lossy micro connector on it there, and there's quite a bit of room in the battery bay to get that in, so that's really not a problem. So I'll just pop that in now. And you've actually got an on-off switch on this one, which is rather nice. I always like it if it's got an on-off switch, because you can leave the battery plugged in sort of in between flights or anything. I mean, I wouldn't leave it in too long obviously, but if you're just going out, we're all ready to go, and then you've got a nice on-off switch there. Whoa, they're really bright LEDs. Oh, that's bright midday already. And it's red at the back and blue at the front. Yay, they put red ones on the back. That's nice. So, like I say, really simple quad, really flexible props. And I don't think they're going to damage anything. If they come into anything, they're just going to deflect out the way. But if you're new to flying, I do suggest you use the prop guards, and they just simply pop into there. You don't have to take anything apart to do it. They would just clip in actually like that, but they do give you screws here as well that you can just pop a screw in there, just one in the middle there to hold it up. I really wouldn't bother. I really don't think they're going to come off, and they are good protectors. You also get 2 different types of landing feet. You get the little short ones here, and again, I'm not really going to bother with those. And you get the extended ones, and there's a facility here to put a camera, slide a camera in there, and then you've got the camera port there. Mine didn't come with a camera. I presume they do one with a camera, or you can buy it as an accessory. But once those legs go on, it's going to make it quite sort of big, I think, and I've got no need for that. I'm sure this will be a hand launch, hand catch, and even if you come down, the pods are sort of covered anyway, so I really don't think it will be a problem. Certainly not with these damp conditions. There's going to be no dust going in here in Scotland, in the Highlands, in September, I can assure you. You've got a little screwdriver there. If you need to change the props, you simply undo it here and then just swap the props over. You only get 2 spare props, so they're obviously confident you're not going to damage these or break these. And just make sure the orientation is, you replace it with the same orientation, because they are 2 different orientations, as you can see there. And they're clearly marked B1 and A1, so on the prop, so no problem at all. Onto the transmitter. Is a gaming style transmitter. Now everything on this is done at a budget, I would say. Nothing feels sort of high quality or anything, but I wouldn't expect it to at this sort of price. And the plastic is a nice sort of soft, durable plastic. I think this is going to bounce and deflect off anything, and especially if you're new to flying, you will crash. I don't know anyone that doesn't crash, actually, experienced or not. You need 3 AA batteries. Simply just pop those in there. And like I say, gaming style transmitter, really simple functions, no altitude hold, so there's no GPS, no altitude hold, no anything basically. It is just basically a flying machine, so I really like that. So you've got your throttle here, so we push that up and down, and that makes the quad go up and down. And if you pull the throttle right off, it will kill the motor, so it would just literally drop out of the sky. So may well be able to do some manual flipping with it later on, which would be rather good. If you want it to turn, it's called yawing with quads. You push this to the right and it will turn to the right. It will turn proportionally, so if you move it a little bit, it will turn a little bit. If you move it a lot, it will turn a lot, and it will keep turning until you release it. And same with going left as well, obviously the other way. Then we come on to the right stick, which is basically our direction stick, and the quad is facing forward that way. So if we go forward, it's forward that way, which is called pitch in, backwards this way, and roll to the right and roll to the left. So basically those are your 4 movements for your directions. If we turn the quad around and it's facing at a peculiar angle, say sort of 45 degrees back here, if I press forward now, forward is this way, because this is the front of the quad, so forward is always forward, unless we go into something called Headless Mode, which I'll explain in a second. So if we go to the right, it's going to go this way, and if we go to the left, it's going to go that way. So I like flying that way because it makes sense, because the front of the quad doesn't alter for me. This does have a headless mode, and to operate that, you simply press this button here. You get flashing LEDs and the transmitter will beep. If we start it off and calibrate it like this, and I'll show you how to calibrate it, and I'll show you headless mode in a minute, all it changes is the actual control stick, your direction stick here. So yes, that would normally be forward and backwards, but in headless mode, even if it's at a peculiar angle, if I press forward, forward is always just away, and backwards towards us, right and left. And it works at any peculiar angle as well, so if you bring it off at sort of, I don't know, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, it will go at that sort of angle. So it's called headless because it doesn't have a head-in. Head-in is just always that way for forward. Not the way I like to fly, but some beginners like it and think it's good. But it's up to you, really. It's your quad, your hobby. Enjoy, however you want to. You got to return to home here, and we simply press that, and it will start heading roughly back in the direction of home. But they're never that good, because again, like I say, it's a basic quad, doesn't have GPS. To cancel that, you just simply give it a direction, and that will cancel the actual return to home. These other ones around here and these two here are trim. If it starts to drift around and you're on a very calm day, I mean we're seriously calm here today, you can alter it here, but what I would suggest is you calibrate it first of all, and I'll show you calibration when we start up. But basically bind it all up and then pull the 2 sticks down and out, and you get flashing LEDs, and then it will calibrate. These little buttons in the middle here are photo and video, but that's obviously if you've got a camera on board, and I don't have a camera. So, hey, that's all covered. Oh, hang on a minute, there's 2 buttons up the top here. These are the important ones as far as I'm concerned. You've got a flip button here, so you press that and it will wait for a direction in which to flip. You can go forward, right, backwards or left. And then this one here changes the rates. It always starts in low rates, then intermediate, then high rates. And basically it's the speed of the quad and how quick it will react to you. And it's cyclical, so after you've gone into high rates, press it again, it will beep once and it comes back round into low rates. So, hey, that's us all done. I want to go flying. Cheer my little self up on this miserable day. Right, so on this one you actually turn the quad on first of all. And as I say, you've got lovely flashing LEDs there. Can't really see them from above, you can just about see them, but underneath they're really cool. So we've got let's put that down somewhere level. There we go, so you've got flashing LEDs, as you can see the speed there. Let's pop the transmitter on. You saw the LEDs stop, and then they go down into a slower pulse. We're ready to bind. We go up and down on the throttle, get a big beep off here, and then we're literally ready to go. But like I say, I'll calibrate it, and as you can see, the LEDs have gone solid now, so we're actually bound to this transmitter. Pull these down now, you get the flashing LEDs and a beep to tell you that it's finished calibration. Yay, let's fly. So just give it some throttle. Oh yeah, nice. And oh, sorry, something I meant to mention on this is how close the props run to each other. They really have sort of squeezed it in, so there is a lot of air being pushed down, and they're not letting any air go past this one. It's rather good. So, like I say, you sort of hand launch and hand catch as I just did there. So this is in low rates, and it is very low. Oh, having said very low, I have had lower, to be perfectly honest. That's not too bad. So that's full pitch backwards. There we go. So it's quite slow and quite safe to learn with. The yaw isn't much, so the turning isn't much, and the roll isn't much. So all very gently done. That's the way we like it in low rates. I'm going to pop it up into intermediate. There you go. And you instantly saw a difference in the rates there. And again, nothing too anxious. Yeah, nice though, nice and controllable. I do quite like actually altitude hold, not having altitude hold, so I quite like it. The LEDs work really well when you're below, but they're absolutely useless when you're sort of down there. So, and orientation on this is a bit difficult because it really does look the same any way round, sort of thing. There's nothing to give it away with colour. So, if I was going to use it a lot and was new to it, I think I'd probably put a bit of white tape on the front, a little bit of white paint or something or other, just to identify front and rear myself. Okay, let's try that third rate, shall we? There we go. Hey, that's a bit better. Nice. Whoa, that yaw is I think it's got, oh yeah, it's got that weird yaw. No, I don't know about you weird, it is controllable, so yeah, just show you. It's no problem. But it can go fast if you like, so, whoa. Hey, nice. I do like it. I've just been flying with my thumbs over the top. I'm going to try it now with pinching. And these are quite big pads actually for pinching. But it does work. And you can fly it with this yaw. It's not impossible by any means. But it is fast if you want it to be. I'll just show you. Let's just bring that down. There we go, yeah. You can sort of do this mad thing here. Now that works reasonably well if you're doing headless mode. So headless mode, like I say, no matter what orientation the quad's in, so if I bring it backwards towards me, it will still keep coming back in one direction. So left is always that way, no matter what angle the quad's at, so I can show you there. And like I say, we get flashing LEDs to show us, there we go. So that's right, that's forward, and that's back. And that's in headless mode. And flashing LEDs are telling us that we're in headless mode. Press the headless mode button again, and then that's it. Yeah, that yaw is not stupid. It's but it does take it a little bit getting used to. Let's try the return to home. So I'm going to press that, and it's sort of going off in that direction. Like I say, it's not necessarily return to home is never great on these little things. So I'll take it over there and let's see what happens this time. And it's going off in that direction. So it's, yeah, like I say, it's not. It sort of goes. It'll head back in one direction. You're not going to fly this very far from here, I don't think. Let's try a quick flip. I'm not really a big, oh yeah. I'm not really a big flipper, but actually it's quite a nice flip. Yeah, it's quick and precise, and it doesn't alter the altitude much either. I'm just going to give it a quick run out on range. I have no idea how long this battery's going to last. It's literally the first flight, so we're just having a bit of fun with it, really. So I know this will be 50 meters if I make it all the way over to there, which is those bushes over there, and that is 50 meters. Oh, we're just on 50 meters there, so that's fine. Like I say, that yaw is actually does sort of train you quite well. Actually, it is fast. Watch. Nice. Yeah, it's good. And like I say, you can sort of these sort of quads are sort of designed to be, you can throw launch them, you can do anything with them. I'm going to try a manual flip. Yeah, it does it, yeah. I don't know if you'd be able to see that, it's probably a long way away on the camera, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's very gentle, but it does do it. Whoops! And also robust. Yeah, that was a full wet test for you there. Yeah, no, I mean you don't get that on every channel, do you? The quad actually is soaked. Look at that. I quite like this yaw actually. If you're new to flying, I wouldn't suggest it. It's quite mad sort of thing. You won't do that. No, still didn't get it. Oh, not really something you should try with such a little quad, but it does flip quite happily, sort of thing. Whoops. Now you see, that's, yeah, this is why I've done this test for you. That's showing that the gyro's gone a little bit squiffy, and you can understand why, because it's just been bashed into the ground twice. Whoops. So if I don't press that up and concentrate on what I'm doing, if I pull both the sticks down and out, it will calibrate it. And now we're flying straight again. So there we go. Hey, look, see these things are all planned. It's all choreographed here at Tigger's RT Reviews, I can assure you. And a precise, nice little flyer through the hoops, no problem at all. Hey, I quite like this. I like the fact it's not complicated with anything. I'm not looking at Wi-Fi. I'm not using FPV. I'm not using altitude hold. It's just pure flying. And it's actually got a little bit of go in it as well. It's no sports flyer, but heck, it's damn good fun. And like I say, that yaw is usable. And if you want it a fast turn, it certainly does do fast turns. It's still doing well on the battery. It's not, actually I haven't had anything sort of fail on it yet, which is rather good. There we go, nice flip for you, just to show you. Ah, we got flashing LEDs. And it did that lovely little flip. Oh no, I can feel it's really low on power now. Whoops, so I'm going to bring it into land. Whoa, there we go, it's coming to land. That is actually damn good fun. I hope the sun doesn't bother to come out now. I'm really not bothered. I've had a great time. Yeah, sopping wet because we've just had all this rain and everything. What I tend to do now is we call it the airing cupboard of shame in the family. Basically, any quad that a car or RC, anything that gets wet goes in there and leave it for a little while, let it all dry out, and they work fine every time. I mean, this one's still working fine, so it's not a problem. It hasn't affected anything. It's only a bit of damp, but I find the airing cupboard's absolutely brilliant. Dry them out, even if you've had one go underwater, you can bung it in there and then it dries out and it flies perfectly afterwards. Yeah, that was really good fun.
So how do we feel about going back to basics of flying? I love it. I really do. It's about, I think it's about £17, but there's be a discount code. I'll put it down in description for you. So you should get it for about 14 quid, something like that. So really cheap. As you saw, a couple of bounces in the garden, no problem at all. Absolutely no effect whatsoever. The transmitter's really good, works well. I mean, I took it up to 50 metres. It probably does more, but I don't really see why you'd fly this thing more than 50 metres away. But yeah, if you do fly out of range, it will just drop to the floor and it will reconnect as you start to walk towards it, so it would be recoverable, but I just don't really see any need. This isn't a long range flyer. The rates were really good. Beginner rate in low rate, absolutely superb, as you saw. Intermediate's quite nice, gets a little bit of a move on, and then in high rates it really does get a little bit of a shift on, and then you can really hone your skills with that yaw, because if you give it a little bit too much it really spins fast. So, but it is controllable, as you saw. I was sort of doing all sorts of things with it. Really good fun. A couple of little mods, I mean really simple, a little bit of tape or a little bit of, I don't know, nail varnish you could put on it, I suppose, a little bit of paint or whatever, just anything like that. Pop it on the front and then you can identify the front and the back. That's what I've done, and it makes flying it so much easier. It really is, because the orientation is quite difficult to see unless you can see the LEDs, and the LEDs were brilliant on it, really nice and bright. I haven't damaged any props or anything, as you saw. It's had a couple of incidents, so no problem whatsoever. Transmitter's good. Everything's good on it, and even the fact that they use these lossy micro connectors, and it's a little 350 milliamp hour battery. I actually use also these 380 milliamp hour, so give you a slight bit more flight time, but you're not really going to notice it that much. This does fit in the compartment, no problem at all, and you get 5 of these and a multi-charger, so you can charge all 5 up at once for about 10 quid, and I'll put a link down in the description for you. So for what, 25 quid I suppose, you've got, you know, 5 times the flying, and well, you have six flights you get out of it, and you've got a great quad and everything. So to me, I think that was brilliant. And you can buy other quads that these batteries will fit as well. Another little tip is just put a little bit of tape around there. I mean, sellotape, whatever you like, around something nice and thin, and then when it's actually in the battery bay, I'll just show you. When it's in the battery bay and you go to get it out, what you normally do is everyone winds up pulling on these cables, and that won't do your battery any good, and they will eventually come out. So with a little bit of tape in there, you can just pull it out, no trouble at all. So there we go. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Batteries are all charged up. I finished with the review. I'm off.